Hey, Magic friends, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Capnclyde's MTG, and we're here today to talk about some news that's kind of slipped through the cracks. Not a lot of people looked at it, they kind of missed some things. So let's talk about it. There's changes coming up to how we do pre releases with the Streets of New Capenna and Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate, it looks like. So we'll talk about the release dates and we'll talk about what those changes are to the way the pre-release will be ran. So, before we get started, remember, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, put some comments down below to feed that YouTube algorithm so we can try to make our way up to 1,000 subscribers. And as always, there's a link in the description to my email and the eBay store if you want to do a little something extra to help out the actual store. You can buy the cards that you see on the box opening series, which is running right now. Or you can hit me up with maybe want to buy some boxes or whatever the case may be, or you just want to reach out and chat. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, this news was posted on February 24th. It's actually pretty old, but I haven't heard a whole lot about it, and it's kind of creeping in now where people actually notice what it said. So, we'll start off with Streets of New Capenna is going to be available on April 29th of 2022. So, we're about honestly, since it's the end of the month, we're basically 2 months away. Now, here's the twist. Like it says, they're going to explore different release cadences for this set only. They're going to align the digital release with the tabletop release. So what that means is the first chance to experience Streets of New Capenna will be on the same day the pre-release starts, which is April 22nd. It'll be followed by a digital release on the actual Magic the Gathering and Arena on the 28th. So, what does that mean? Well, if you guys weren't aware, I'm sure most of you are, normally all the sets that have been coming out get released on Arena a whole week early before the pre-release. And that gives people a whole week to play and test and actually get good at the set um, before anybody else gets a chance if they just play Arena. So I really like this move. Only because it's going to keep everything honest. Now, everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to, be the best. But at the end of the day, this is a pre-release. This is not a big store event. And I'm gonna be honest with you, most store events that I go to anymore, the prize support for the events pre-release are actually not that hot. They give you some packs. There's not really big prizes anymore. I remember back when I used to do pre-releases, back in the good old days with some of my other shops, and in the areas I released, one of the shops, if you won with a perfect record, they would give you a bundle, um, and that was a great prize. But none of that stuff really happens anymore. Now maybe there are some stores out there who do that, and kudos for them for really rewarding their players for this. But what it's really kind of boiled down to is a pre-release is just a fun, first chance to play the game that nobody has any advantages other than just their smarts and the ability to think on their feet by seeing what's in the set. So, does that mean that the pre-release will be better for everybody's experience? Yes, I think so. Now, does that mean people can't practice beforehand? No, of course not. All the cars get pre-released. We have leaks and everything. We know what the whole set looks like before it comes out. People write articles. People talk about it, i.e., myself. Stay tuned for that. Anyway, so there's easy to find that kind of information before you go into a pre-release and kind of sway how you play or um, get pointers on how you play beforehand. Now, with that said, that's really not the same as playing the set, seeing how the cards interact, and also, just doing that and trying to prep for something like that. You're actually just taking a shot on what will be good. You're not actually playing the cards, seeing how they interact, see what it's like when you actually play it. So there you have it. Can you prep for it? Yes, you can. If people are gonna put that much effort into it, no, they're not. Because again, it's low level. Now, I'm not gonna lie. When it came out on Arena, I played it a week before the pre-release, just because it was released. That was now part of the set. It was now time to play with it. Did some drafts and all that other stuff, cause it was fun. However, being virtual, it did take a lot away. And I'll even say this: with Kamigawa, I didn't go to the pre-release. It was on Arena a week ahead of time. Some other stuff came up at the same time as this, and honestly, I wasn't drawn into the pre-release because I had already played it. I'd had my pre-release at home by myself, so forth and so on, and so I didn't go to the store. So obviously, shame on me. I should not have done that. I'll take the credit for that. But I think that's something that everybody started realizing. And, yeah, it hurts the stores, but I don't think what people realize how much does that hurts uh, Wizards of the Coast. Because if people stop buying pre-release boxes, because I'm sure this has kind of built up over time to where people have slowly stopped going. If they're not selling pre-release cards and no one wants to buy the pre-release packs, they're losing money. They need people to go to that store. Also, they've learned that Magic Arena and Magic the Gathering Online is not where they're making their money. Magic the Gathering Online has already been sold to a third-party vendor, so clearly that's not doing what they want it to. Magic Arena has the most awful attendance, and people just don't play it for anything, and nobody spends money on it. Um, they've acknowledged that, and they want to get back to in-person playing because they've now realized where their bread is buttered, if you get what I'm saying. So, with that said, I applaud the fact that they finally got their heads out of their butt and realized that in-person playing and in-person play of Magic the Gathering is what's going to pay their bills and how they're going to make their money. Because if you can do it all digital, why buy the cards? So, there you have it. With that said, this might be, and fingers crossed, their first eye-opening experience to, hey, maybe we need to start supporting the actual play environment again because the whole online thing has completely tanked. We've lost tons of money, and we were making more do going the other way. Now, with that said, they don't have to because places like Channel Fireball, Nerd Rage Gaming, all those guys are doing their own events, so they don't have to dabble in that. But without that big, what you want to call it, pro tour or tournament scene, sales have been reducing because people are only picking up what they need. There's not a big rush to buy stuff ahead of time, and Neon Dynasty was the first good selling set they've had in a while compared to other sets, and that's pretty bad. Pandemic aside, if you know if the sales are down because people aren't going to the events, then you need to have events. And if less people go to the events because there's no reason to go other than just because you love the game, then people are going to do something else, like play Flesh and Blood, or maybe MetaZoo if they start doing something, or whatever, Weiss Swords for God's sakes. Like they're going to have to do something, and they're going to have to do it quick to get those revenue things up that they want. And I think they're starting to figure out what that is. At least I hope so. Knock on wood. So with that said, let's finish up and take a look at what else is coming out for this stuff because it also talks about Commander Legends. So, here it says, while we can't share too much, yes, about the streets of Capenna, the set will be set in a new plane, sprawling metropolis. As you guessed it, New Capenna. Stay tuned for more information in the coming weeks about the city full of grit, glamour, and intrigue. As always, we've known that this is going to be a mob style 50s, 40s kind of setting, and I'm really excited about it. And it's going to have a lot more stuff like we see in Neon Dynasty with a lot more tech. So, not real fond of that, but I can probably stomach it. Neon Dynasty wasn't that bad. I actually do like it. So, also here it says, additionally, we're excited to share that Dungeons & Dragons crossover Commander set, Commander Legends Battles of Baldur's Gate, is slated for release in June. So that's 2 months after New Capenna. Um, and I'm actually going to have to go through here and find out what their delivery is for all of 2022 because I kind of want to play this out of what it looks like to your pocketbook, and that's probably going to be a really good video for later because uh, 2 months after this, you get the crossover set, which is Commander. Normally every 2 to 3 months they release a set into Standard as well. So we may have some things stacked on top of each other that people are gonna have to start picking and choosing what they buy into. Um, I don't like that because I kind of like to get a piece of everything. But if it keeps going like this, people are gonna have to make that choice. And if Wizards isn't careful, they're gonna cause wall fatigue again. Um, After the pandemic because people are still trying to catch up on their bills and so forth, and don't have a whole lot of money to spend. I mean, yeah, they're going to spend some, but not like they used to. So, with all that said, guys, thanks a lot for your time. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Check out the box opening series as it's going, and check out the EV videos. I would really appreciate it on the channel. And remember, until next time, be kind, and I hope to see you across from the game table.